Oh wait, this is live right now. Wait, are we live? We got to be live, right? It just sort of kicked in. Hopefully, I wasn't looking at any adult stuff. Yeah, because we're live, right? Yeah, we got to be. Hey, type 1 if I'm live. It's been a while since I live streamed. Sorry. All right, so we're live. There we go. So you guys saw me set up. Hopefully, I wasn't on any adult websites. Yeah, about that. So we were gonna introduce like a daily Q&A video, and it wasn't gonna be live stream because I can't really abide by the live stream at a set time during the week. I don't know if we will during the season either, but we want to do a bunch of these interaction with the Jeromes and just popping in on a random Sunday night. So here we go. Put it out for some questions. Let's go. Lucas Johns, any fun vacation spots in the Midwest you've been to, looking to go on a short trip with some friends? See, Midwest. So actually, what defines the Midwest? Because like, are the Dakotas and Nebraska and Missouri? Is Kentucky the Midwest? Nah, Kentucky's sort of south. Like over to Ohio. So I have been to Duluth. Superior is awesome, but Duluth is obviously superior to Superior because Duluth's in Minnesota. Wisconsin, Superior's in Wisconsin. That's a fun area. Southeast Minnesota, there's a town called Lanesboro. It's really good. Just like chilling. You do some trout fishing. You can do some tubing. You can do some camping, all that good stuff. The Dells is obviously fun. Noah's Ark is a great time, especially got kids. I'm trying to think where else. Lake Okoboji's fun. Well, it's Minnesota, so obviously, and the lakes are going to be great. If you go up to Detroit Lakes and up in those areas is great. Alexandria is great. Mille Lacs is good. Mille Lacs, there's a little bit too much politics, and I don't mean like politics, but like lake politics, like wall. Oh, you can't keep this certain or like the wall, blah, all that stuff. Let's see, Door County's good. Mackinac Island, Michigan's cool. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of random things around. Anyway, Ethan Griffith. Glad you're bringing this back once in a while. Just don't burn yourself out. With a fight to the death between O'Neal and Daniil, who walks out? Well, the thing about we're talking about like no holds barred fight to the death. The thing about like UFC fights is the ripped dude doesn't always get it done. Where you see this more in boxing, where especially heavyweight fighters, where they're not Michael B. Jordan. Like, they're not fully shredded. Like, some of the guys are well marbled. And that has a place where you're able to take a couple of hits, right? So, but you look at the heavyweight division in the UFC. Obviously, Francis Ngannou's a physical freak. But you look at, like, Daniel Cormier. You look at Stipe. You look at... what's that guy's name? He never actually fought in the UFC. The Russian dude. Name escapes me. But, they're not completely ripped and jacked. So, ipso facto, even though Daniil is Rip City, I think O'Neal could hold his own. Because he could go length for length with Daniil. He's got a weight advantage over Daniil as well. So, I think that O'Neal could get it done. Especially, Brian O'Neal will just go for the neck. Hair fine. Where would you rank Darisaw in last year's tackle class? I would put Darisaw behind Penny Sewell. I liked him above Slater. Yeah, fully. Miles got the Rona. Predict the Vikings weakness link. Predict the Vikings weakest link in the starting lineup for both offense and defense. Offense. Kirk? Nah. Actually, if Kirk is the weakest link on offense, we're actually in really good shape. I will say wide receiver 3 for the time being to start the season. Defense, probably the third linebacker, except, when do you play third linebackers? That's pretty easy. I guess maybe cornerback 2 until someone steps up. Actually, all the cornerbacks are free. Did you see All Things Covered interview with Harry? No. He and Patrick Peterson are both have a high praise for 38 special. Could he be a sleeper? heading into the season. Yes, I think he could. Maybe not starter, but certainly could find his way getting more and more snaps, which would be great. Miles, which of the defensive ends opposite Daniel Hunter has a high ceiling in your opinion? Probably Janarius in terms of just like a physical high-end ability. Janarius went through several different defensive schemes at Florida State. He was stand-up, he was hand the dirt, he switched sides. So if they had just had a plan for him as either one, I think that would have been great for his development. I do like Patrick Jones. He can certainly get to the quarterback. Wanham needs a little bit more polish. We knew that coming in. But just in terms of the physical aspect, yeah, I'll go with Janarius. Giancarlo Cavallo. Is DJ Wanham good enough to be a starting edge rusher in a Super Bowl winning team? Yes. I think right now, if he can hit his ceiling and be your number 2 to Daniil, yes, he can be. Chris Reisdorf. If you go back to the offseason where we picked up Kirk instead of re-signing Case or Teddy, would you change anything? Maybe even draft someone? I mean, it's a little bit tough because I've come around on Kirk Cousins a little bit. I think that this is the perfect situation for him. Right now, obviously, would take Kirk over Case or Teddy. Or would you just draft Lamar Jackson? Like, I understand that his style long-term probably won't work. Like, Lamar Jackson is not going to be Tom Brady. Like, he's not going to be 45 and just still out there, but it'd be a lot of fun. He would be a lot of fun. Stikes27. What do you enjoy in the offseason? Get out, sunshine, do some fishing, play the occasional round of golf, grill a lot. Right now we're working on the house, which is really fun, and I don't know, play some poker, just get out, enjoy yourself. Just get ready for the fall. Matt Strossi, Justin Jefferson wasn't in the breakout athlete options. I think that's good because it's just feeling him to be the best. Well, he's already broken out. Yeah, I vaguely remember that list, but yeah, it was like players that would break out in year 2. He's already broken out, so he's fine. Alex Sommer, what do you think will happen for the wide receivers? Will Smith Marset, B, C, or BB make the roster? All 3 will make the roster. All 3 will make the roster. I think it's Chisena will make the roster. I think Filior and Pro will make the practice squad to start. And I think eventually BC BB will start as the wide receiver 3. I think eventually ISM will work in there. Double BB88. So which of this year's draft picks do you realistically think may have trouble making the team, if any? I'll have to look. PFR. No, I want PFR, man. That's a problem. PFF has too good of SEO. The PFR is good too. All right, so Darisaw's making it, Mon making it, Surratt making it, make. Bynum will be in, Janaris will be in, ISM will be in. I think Davidson will be in pretty solidly as tight end 3. I think that he will beat out Brandon Dillon. I guess Twyman, not so much because of the gunshot issues, but it's just so deep on the defensive line. We talked about that on Friday where, I mean, the Vikings are going to have to make some tough decisions. Like a guy like James Lynch or Hercules Mataafa is in danger of not making this roster, which is pretty crazy. Next up, Miles. Are Aaron Rodgers and the Packers faking the drama without telling Jordan Love so that he goes to training camp as a potential starter? No, I think Rodgers is legit just playing this to the hilt. Just for attention, just for clout, just for more money, just for everything. It just feeds his ego. But his actions are ironically helping out Jordan Love the most. So Jordan Love went through OTAs with the ones, getting every single rep. And if this goes in training camp, he'll get all those reps too. And Rodgers, even if he does show up, probably isn't going to play in any preseason games. So Jordan Love is going to get most of that action, boss. So, I mean, it really sucks because I like Jordan Love in the draft process last year. So this, DHVF. If the Vikings can't win the Super Bowl, who do you root for to win? For me, it's Tennessee. I said there's my second favorite team. Kind of comes and goes. Like I always like the underdog, so I like the Bills last year, even though Diggs is whatever. I I've always had a spot for the Browns. I actually had a Tim Couch jersey back in the day when they came back in '99. So, and also that's really easy to root for because Stefanski's my guy. I think that he should have been the head coach of the Vikings, but neither here nor there. So, I guess it would be the Browns. That'd be crazy. Plus, I mean, you feel bad for Browns fans, but then you remember that all of them are probably Buckeyes fans, and then you feel less bad. Just how it goes. Pro capping. If Thielen or JJ gets injured, do you think BC, BB, ISM are able to take the role as wide receiver too? Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby, and no. Ethan Griffith. How many quarterbacks will be on the 53-man rooster start the season? I hope two. I think it's going to be two with the expanded practice squads still in place at 16. So I think it could be a spot where it's 2 and 2 again. You have Mond and Cousins on the 53, and then you have Browning. And I think they hold on to Stanley again on the practice squad. Jared Lewis, this isn't so much a question, but everyone knows Calamano will beat out Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins never performs well on Mondays. Madden Mobile. What have you been doing this summer other than creating great content for us? Just living life. Rolling the jits, of course. Hanging out with the kids and just living a good life. Schizo Ferger. By 2035, how many Super Bowls will the Vikings have realistically? I'll say 2. So 15 years? Yeah, 2 is doable. Jack Buttram. How much do you think DJ Watt can feed off being beside Hunter? Will it give him more confidence knowing more solid players around? So the problem last year, Fadio Denebo in 2019 was phenomenal. I think he had 8 sacks as a rotational guy, both on the edge as well as inside. But he benefited greatly by having Daniil there, by having Everson there. So when he was, when he was the number one guy on the edge for the Vikings, it just wasn't there, right? So I think DJ Watt's in a similar mold where he can be an absolute beast, feasting off of one-on-one situations, even if it is one-on-one against the left tackle, if they do keep Daniil at left defensive end. Steve Schoen, how many of our one-year contracts stick around with us after the year? I think Mack resigns. I think Xavier Woods resigns. I think Patrick Peterson resigns. I think they basically keep everyone. Maybe not Vigil. Yeah. Jan Anderson TV, which player are you most excited to see this upcoming preseason? Also, thank you for helping the Summer Void. Hey, thank you for coming along. Well, obviously, Kellen Mond is there, but I'm really pumped for Kenan Nwangu. I am. Where it's obvious why he was buried at Iowa State. He's behind 2 really good running backs in David Montgomery and Breece Hall. But that guy is just a physical freak. He's just freakish, man. And there's people that are so tall, and Nwangu's got really long legs, where when he's running in the open field, it doesn't look like he's going that fast because he's not putting in as many steps as a shorter guy like Tyreek Hill would be putting in. We're just like this, where he's a long strider. He kind of reminds me of Robert Smith a little bit, but obviously he's Jack City. So yeah, I'm excited to see. I think that he could be the preseason star because I think he'll get work, and I'm putting it on the table right now. And Nwangu will be the running back 2 at some point. Well, no. Don't you put that evil on my Rick Bobby. He will beat out Alexander Madison for the running back 2 spot. There you go. Darius Martin. Going to my first Vikings game at US Bank Stadium this year versus Seattle, which is funny because I'm from Seattle and always had to go to the yearly Monday night game. Skull. Hey, have fun. It's good times. Lazy L. How many sacks is Hunter going to have this season? All of them. I'm going to say 22 and a half. Almighty JD. For outside corners, who'd you rather see start week 1? Dantzler and Breland or Cam and P squared? Well, I mean, hopefully Dantzler's healthy. So I guess it would be Dantzler and P squared, but I'm fine with the rotation, working Breland in. Obviously, a slot's going to be Mac. There you go. Scott, sure. Okay, bro, I thought you should know that I watched a video on NFL films. I think you're going to like this. Maybe you could feature on one of your podcasts. 10 most high-powered offenses in NFL history. 98 Vikings. The first year. Packers. There's not a period in this entire in this entire paragraph. We'll look into it. David Hill, did you see the Euro final? Forza Italia. Did Italy beat Germany? Or Italy beat England or something like that? Cool. Nicholas Meyer, favorite Vikings head coach? You take the little ones fishing in the summer. Any luck? Favorite Vikings head coach? I wasn't around for Bud. So I know the default answer is Bud. But my favorite is Denny. I feel like Denny was just related to the players. And, the players really wanted to play hard for him. But, just couldn't get over the hump. Just couldn't get it done. Even though he had a crazy track record. Like Denny Green, over his time with the Vikings, had one losing season. And that was the year that he got fired. So, yeah, I'll go with Denny. But, of course, that's more generational. Little one's fishing. So the daughter will go fishing when we're... So it's going to be a little rough. So right when they start training camp, that's where we're going to be wrapping up our, annual week up at the cabin. So doing that, but yeah, she'll fish. She's caught a fish before, but is this little baby yellow perch. And so my kid's a savage. Like nothing disgusts her. Like nothing with hunting, nothing with fishing gets it where it's kind of weird because she is, definitely the typical, stereotypical girlies girl. She loves Barbie. She loves dresses, makeup, all that stuff. But I mean, she will just get after it. Like, well, so we were last year up north. We were, we caught a bunch of northerns, and we're filleting them up. And I thought that she would just be like not so great when we're cleaning the fish. But she was getting into it, like we're cutting, we're gutting it, and then like she's playing with the intestines and like, oh, there's the heart. Wow, it's crazy, right? But nah. And the boy's too young so far. DP, I don't know if you pay attention to MMA, but thoughts on McGregor Poirier. Poirier was a smart bet the entire way. I thought that McGregor was getting piss pounded even before he broke his leg, and if you look back. I think it was when Poirier checked one of his kicks. That's where he cracked it, and then McGregor stepping back on it. That's because, in the moment, when you crack your leg, you don't really feel it. So that's why he was probably able to amble around for maybe a minute or two before it eventually gave way. But because you're just so up on adrenaline. But yeah, I don't want to see a fourth fight because it's not going to be competitive. Because Poirier is becoming one of the stars, and McGregor Poirier won. Conor got him at the height of his power, and Poirier was just on the come up, so it's understandable. But Poirier dominated the second fight. He dominated the third fight. So I mean, Conor, just go fight Jake Paul or Logan Paul or one of the two. Fight them both at the same time. I don't care. Just cash out because the time of Conor being like a top tier MMA fighter is gone. I understand that he's still a huge draw, but I mean, him just getting like manhandled by Khabib, I think that was again, I understand respect. He's a big time draw, and he's a reason why all these other UFC fighters are getting more money in their pockets. But yeah, nah. Chad Franson, what made the '98 Vikings offense good? I think the offense would have been good even if Brad Johnson stayed healthy. Like, I understand that Cunningham had the bigger arm, but they certainly weren't going to be a slouch. But I think it was just because they had a good offensive line. They had an OC and Brian Billick, coming from the BYU school of thought, who wasn't afraid to chuck it. Randy Moss was just a generational wide receiver. Chris Carter was a Hall of Famer. Robert Smith was a fantastic running back. They also had Leroy Horde in short yard situations. Jake Reed was a solid wide receiver 3. So, I mean, yeah, and you just get after it. Plus, it was an era where defenses, were still, you played your base defense 4-3-3-4 most of the time. Like, you didn't really play that much nickel. So, the bombs away was just there. Like, the league had seen an influx of the West Coast offense, and they were perfectly suited for that. But, I mean, the Vikings going 3 deep and just chucking it, 9-9-9. Nah, that was different. Frisk John 36. Who are some past Vikings that could fit in today's NFL? I want to say Carl Eller, except he, not Carl Eller, Alan Page, but he was like a 250-pound defensive tackle, so probably not. I would say, I think Tarkington as a mobile quarterback would fit in. I think he would be great in like Baltimore's offense. Um, Studwell, yes. He may be limited to like 2-down duty, but that's fine. Joey Browner, yes. Antoine Winfield, except that's not too far past. I mean, most guys from the 90s on could make it. Randy Moss, obviously. Chris Carter, yes. Robert Smith, yes. Chuck Foreman could have a role, maybe as like a 2-down guy. Oh, I said this on a previous video. Darren Nelson, if he was around today, would be a top 5 running back. Like I think Darren Nelson. I understand that Jerry Burns did use him more as a wide receiver. Jerry Burns was very heavily invested in the West Coast offense, but I mean today Darren Nelson was just as good a receiver as he was a running back, and you saw that back at Stanford. I think Bill Walsh was his coach at Stanford. I think so. I may be wrong, but yeah, he would just be dynamic. Michael Merchant Robles. Do you think the Vikings should have took Ronnie Perkins instead of Patrick Jones? I'm always going to defer to the Vikings personnel department and Andre Patterson. I'm sure they looked at both of them and decided that Patrick Jones was going to be that guy. I like Ronnie Perkins, but Nick Bonito, opposite of him, yeah, he's going to be the dude. He's going to be the dude. Ron Perkins. Leonard, 2006. Before the finals started, who were you picking? Because I chose the Suns. I picked the Suns too because Giannis's knee. I get that he's playing, but it's not the same. It's not the same at all. See, I thought we might get one Kirk Gibson moment out of Giannis, because remember, Kirk Gibson didn't play the rest of that series after he hit that home run. But yeah, I think it's the Suns' time. Yeah, happy for the Valley. Happy for Larry Fitzgerald, part owner of the Suns. Chris Danny Hansen. You did your top 5 Vikings players. How about your top 5 NFC North players? Packers, Bears, Lions. Oh, this will be easy. I will go Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, Urlacher, Peanut Tillman, and I don't know, Megatron, I guess. I just don't want to pick it. I guess I could say Bert Favre, Jets Falcons legend. DP, who will be the first head coach fired and first quarterback benched next season? Tua, quarterback benched? Yeah. Well, who's Tua's backup right now? Oh, Jabroni Brisket. Yeah. Head coach fired. I think it's going to be Fangio, because I think the Bears are too cheap to fire Matt Nagy in season. I think George Payton will axe Fangio very quickly, and then Pat Shurmur will get the interim job, and then Teddy will help him earn the permanent job. Because remember, Pat Shurmur, George Payton did have some connection here when Shurmur was here with the Vikings as tight ends coach and OC. So there. Next up, Madden. If you had to pick between Jefferson or Diggs, both in prime, who'd you pick? Jefferson. I get that Diggs had a phenomenal season last year, but Jefferson out of the gate was nothing that we had ever seen with Diggs. I mean, Diggs didn't have a 1,000-yard season before last year. Also, would you take Kirk or Mac Jones? For 1 year or for the rest of time? Because I guess rest of time I would take Mac Jones, but for 1 year I'll take Kirk. Sir Botiana III. Neither one are realistic, but if you could trade for Stephon Gilmore or Chandler Jones, who would it be? I would go Gilmore because Connor Keck, least favorite player of all time in the NFL. Aaron. Darius Martin. Should we go after Melvin Ingram? I'd say maybe in season, where after week 1, so you don't have to guarantee him a contract. Go ahead. Tyler Newman. Derek Barnett trade rumor. Any news to this? This is the first I've heard of it. Ironically, Derek Barnett was the guy that they drafted in 2017, who it was the first round pick from the Sam Bradford trade. So they drafted him at 14, And then Derek Barnett was the guy who got the strip sack in the 38-7 game. Because remember, the Vikings were marching in the red zone, and they were down 14-7. And then Keenum was strip sacked by Derek Barnett, and that was basically the ball game. Yeah, I mean, the Vikings were still fighting. Like, Case Keenum didn't give up. Matt Strassi, would you delete your channel for a guaranteed Super Bowls win? Well, they're going to win anyway, so why? Plus, I could just start another channel. Avery Keeley, weakest position currently. Like, position as a whole? I guess center? Yeah, because if we're breaking up by individual positions, I guess center. Because, I mean, Bradbury still got hope. Mason Cole has been a starter. Yeah. Lynn Hansen, Andy, why did my wife leave me? You know. McGregor thoughts. I think McGregor is just a force of nature. Like, he, personality-wise, like, he is like a promotion machine that we had rarely seen before. But as a fighter, nah, it's passed him by. And you'll see this with UFC fighters, with MMA, with boxing, is that once big-time lifestyle and start fighting just for paychecks as opposed to move up and level up. Well, once they've hit the top, it's very hard to stay on top. Like, it's one thing to climb to the top, but it is probably more difficult to stay on top. Vikings are the best team in the league. Rank fullbacks. Ham, Ricard, and Juszczyk. There you go. Brady Anaker, tacos or burritos? Well, it's tacos pretty easily. Because I think burritos are pretty overrated. Where tacos, you have multiple ones, and they're 2 bites, and they're just easy peasy, and you have a lot of variety. Where burrito, especially if you get like the Chipotle burrito, or it's just a lot of work. Plus, burritos have zones. Like, if you go to Chipotle and they just make your burrito, they don't mix things up, right? So you'll have zones. Like, you'll have the meat zone, you'll have the salsa zone, you'll have the sour cream or guac zone, you'll have the rice zone. The rice zone is the worst, and this is coming from an Asian. So I like tacos, man. Tacos are the place to be. So there you go. That's it. That is the impromptu Sunday live stream as my kids like bang around. It's great. Thanks for coming along. You guys are the best. We'll toss these in intermittently. It will be like a gorilla pop-up. Yeah, there you go. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull.